Before you were taught who to be, before the world told you what was normal, something inside you already knew. You felt it, didn't you? A quiet difference, a strange awareness, a feeling that you didn't belong here the same way others did. And maybe you tried to ignore it. Maybe you thought something was wrong with you. But what if I told you nothing was wrong? What if I told you you were marked, not by accident, not by chance, but by something higher, something ancient, something watching? And today, you're about to uncover the truth most people will never understand, because not everyone is meant to hear this. But you are. There are people who move through life asleep, following patterns, chasing approval, living on autopilot. And then, there are the others, the ones who question everything, the ones who feel too deeply, the ones who see beyond what's visible. These are the ones often called chosen ones, not chosen for fame, not chosen for comfort, but chosen for awakening, chosen for truth, chosen for transformation. And if you've felt like an outsider since childhood, this may not be coincidence. It may be a sign. Think back to when you were younger, before the world shaped you. You didn't just play. You observed. You didn't just listen. You felt energy behind words. Even in silence, you sensed something more. You were sensitive, not weak, but aware. Loud environments drained you. Fake smiles confused you. You could feel when something wasn't right, even when no one else noticed. This wasn't overthinking. This was perception. A gift most people never develop. A sign you were tuned differently from the very beginning. You may have also felt alone, not because you had no people around you, but because no one truly understood you. You tried to explain your thoughts, your feelings, your questions about life, but people dismissed you. Too deep, too emotional, too different. So you learned to stay quiet. You hid parts of yourself just to fit in. But even then, something inside you refused to shrink completely. That inner voice kept whispering, "You're not like them." And it wasn't meant as rejection, it was recognition. Another sign. You faced struggles early, not small ones, deep ones. Emotional pain, confusion, situations that forced you to grow faster than others your age. While others were living carefree, you were learning life lessons, hard lessons, the kind that break people, or awaken them. And maybe you asked, why me? But now looking back, you begin to see something different. They shaped you. They sharpened your awareness. They built your strength. They prepared you. Because chosen ones are not born into comfort. They are forged in fire. You've always been drawn to truth, even when it made life harder, even when it meant standing alone. You couldn't blindly follow. You couldn't accept things just because everyone else did. Something inside you demanded deeper answers. Why are we here? What is real? What is beyond this life? And while others were distracted, you were searching, not for attention, but for meaning. That hunger for truth is not random. It's a signal, a calling. At times, you felt like the black sheep in your family, in your friendships, even in your own environment. You didn't think the same. You didn't act the same. And sometimes, that made people uncomfortable. They couldn't understand your depth, your silence, your intensity. So they labeled you, misunderstood you, even rejected you. But here's what most people don't realize. Chosen ones are often isolated, not because they are less, but because they are different. And difference threatens the ordinary. There were moments, quiet moments, where you felt something unexplainable. A presence, a pull, a sense that you were being guided, not in a loud, obvious way, but in subtle nudges. Coincidences that didn't feel like coincidence. Paths closing, and better ones opening. People entering your life at the exact moment you needed them, and leaving just as mysteriously. This is not luck. This is alignment. This is protection. Because when you are marked, you are never truly alone. You've probably noticed. You can read people easily, not just their words, but their energy. You can sense lies. You can feel intentions. You know when something is off, even without proof. And this ability, it's powerful, but it can also be overwhelming. Because once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. And that's why chosen ones often struggle with relationships. Because they crave authenticity. And in a world full of masks, that's rare. There's also something else. You've experienced moments of deep awakening. Moments where your perspective shifted completely, where the world no longer looked the same, where you realized there is more to life than what we're taught. These moments can feel intense, confusing, even isolating, but they are not breakdowns. They are breakthroughs. They are the beginning of remembering who you truly are. And here's the part most people won't tell you. The world doesn't always celebrate awakening. In fact, it resists it, because awakened individuals question systems. They challenge norms. They refuse to stay asleep. And that makes them difficult to control. So society labels them, silences them, distracts them, tries to pull them back into the crowd. But if you felt that resistance, that pressure to conform, that fear of being yourself, then you're closer to the truth than you think. Because deep down, you already know. You've always known. You are not here to fit in. You are here to awaken, to grow, to transform, to become the version of yourself that the world tried to hide. So if this message found you, take a moment. Pause. Reflect. Not everyone will understand this. Not everyone will resonate with this. But if something inside you feels stirred, if your soul feels seen, then this is your confirmation. You are not crazy. You are not broken. You are becoming. And now, the choice is yours. You can ignore this, go back to sleep, pretend you never felt this pull, or you can embrace it. Step into your truth. Accept your journey, even if it's lonely at times, even if it's difficult, because on the other side of that path is your real self. If this spoke to you, don't scroll away. Don't silence this feeling. Instead, acknowledge it. Comment below, "I'm awakening." Let your voice be heard. Like this video, so others like you can find it. And subscribe to Inner Bloom, because this is just the beginning. Your journey is unfolding, and you were never meant to walk it blindly. You were meant to rise, and as you begin to rise, something strange starts to happen. The things that once excited you no longer feel the same. Conversations feel empty. Places feel heavy. People you once connected with now feel distant. It's not that you've become cold, it's that you've outgrown what no longer aligns with your energy. And this part of the journey, it's painful, because growth doesn't just add, it removes. It strips away illusions. It reveals truths you weren't ready to see before, and suddenly, you're standing between two worlds, the one you used to belong to, and the one you're still becoming. There will be days when you question everything. Days when the silence feels too loud, when the path feels unclear, when you wonder if it would have been easier to stay asleep, to stay like everyone else, to not feel so much, to not see so much. But understand this, awareness is not a burden. The confusion you feel is part of the transformation, because before you step into clarity, you must walk through the unknown. You may also notice your intuition becoming stronger. That quiet inner voice, it's getting louder now, guiding you, warning you, leading you toward what's meant for you and away from what's not. But here's the challenge. You've been taught to doubt it, to ignore it, to trust logic over feeling. So now, you're learning to reconnect, to trust yourself again, to listen, even when it doesn't make sense to others. Because your path was never meant to make sense to everyone. It was meant to be felt by you. And then, there's the loneliness. Not the kind that comes from being alone, but the kind that comes from being misunderstood. You can be surrounded by people and still feel like no one truly sees you, no one truly hears you, and that can hurt deeply. But what you don't realize yet is, this solitude is not punishment. It's preparation, because before you can connect with the right people, you must first connect with yourself. This is where most people turn back. This is where fear takes over, where they abandon their growth just to feel comfortable again, just to feel accepted again. But you're different. You've come too far to go back. You've seen too much to pretend. And even if you try, that inner voice won't let you, because once you awaken, there is no returning to who you were. There is also a hidden strength inside you, a resilience you didn't even realize you had. Every challenge you faced, every moment you thought would break you, it didn't. You're still here, still searching, still rising. And that alone is proof of something greater within you. Chosen ones don't just survive, they evolve. They turn pain into wisdom, confusion into clarity, darkness into purpose. And slowly, things begin to shift. You start attracting different energy, different people, different opportunities, not because you're chasing them, but because you've changed. Your frequency has changed. What you tolerate has changed. What you accept, what you allow, what you believe. It's all evolving. And with that, your reality begins to mirror your inner transformation. You'll begin to notice signs, not loud ones, but subtle confirmations, repeating patterns, unexpected clarity, moments where everything just clicks, as if the universe is whispering. You're on the right path. And in those moments, you'll feel it, a deep sense of peace. Not because everything is perfect, but because you're finally aligned. And here's the truth most people never reach. Being chosen is not about being above others. It's about responsibility. It's about awareness. It's about having the courage to walk a path that most people avoid, to face yourself, to heal, to grow, to break cycles, not just for you, but for those who come after you. Because your journey, it's bigger than you think. Your healing affects others. Your growth inspires others. Your awakening creates a ripple effect in ways you may never fully see. And that's the beauty of it. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be real. You just have to keep going. So when things feel overwhelming, when the weight of this path feels heavy, remember this. You are not chosen because it would be easy. You were chosen because you are capable, because deep within you, there's something unshakable, something divine, something powerful. And maybe that's what you've been feeling all along. Not confusion, not emptiness, but a calling, a pull toward something greater, a reminder of who you truly are. So don't ignore it anymore. Don't run from it. Lean into it, trust it, embrace it, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's uncertain, because this is your awakening. This is your becoming. This is your truth. And if you've made it this far, if you're still here, then this message wasn't random. It found you for a reason. So go ahead. Comment below, I accept my path. Let it be your declaration. Like this video, so it reaches others who feel the same. And subscribe to Inner Bloom, because your journey is just beginning. And trust me, what's coming next will change everything. And as you continue walking this path, something even deeper begins to unfold. You start seeing patterns, not just in your life, but in everything. The same cycles repeating in people, the same fears controlling decisions, the same illusions keeping minds trapped, and suddenly, it becomes clear. Most people are not living freely. They are living unconsciously, programmed by beliefs they never questioned, guided by fears they never faced. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. This realization can feel heavy, because you begin to understand why you always felt different, why you never fully fit into the system, why your soul resisted certain paths. It wasn't rebellion, it was awareness. Your spirit recognized what your mind couldn't yet explain. And now, it's all coming together. Like sharing what you've discovered, like waking others up. But be careful. Not everyone is ready to hear what you know. Not everyone is open to seeing beyond their comfort. And if you try to force it, you may be met with resistance, rejection, even judgment, not because you're wrong, but because your truth challenges their reality. This is where wisdom comes in. Not just knowing the truth, but knowing when to speak and when to stay silent, because your energy is sacred, and not every space deserves access to it. Protect your peace, protect your mind, protect your growth. Not everyone deserves to understand you, and that's okay. You will also begin to detach, not in a cold or heartless way, but in a peaceful, grounded way. You stop chasing, you stop forcing, you stop trying to control everything, and instead, you allow, you trust, you flow, because deep down, you know what's meant for you will find you, and what isn't will fall away naturally. And as this detachment grows, so does your inner power, a quiet confidence, not loud, not arrogant, but unshakable. You no longer seek validation. You no longer depend on approval, because you've found something greater: self-awareness, self-trust, self-connection. And once you have that, the outside world loses its control over you. There's also a shift in how you see pain. It no longer feels like punishment. It feels like a teacher. Every challenge, every disappointment, every ending, it all starts to make sense. You begin to ask, what is this trying to show me? Instead of, why is this happening to me? And that single shift changes everything. You become more intentional with your time, with your energy, with your presence. You realize that where you focus your attention shapes your reality. So you choose wisely. You surround yourself with growth, with truth, with things that elevate your mind and soul, because you understand now, energy is everything. And then, something beautiful happens. You start reconnecting with yourself, the real you, not the version shaped by fear, not the version created to fit in, but the authentic you, the one who feels deeply, the one who sees clearly, the one who is always there, waiting beneath the noise. And in that connection, you find peace, not the kind that depends on circumstances, but the kind that exists within,